Welcome to Musa Bytes. Here we make complex technology simple and accessible for everyone. And today, we're diving into the biggest story of the year. This is a technology revolution that's literally reshaping our planet right before our very eyes.
For a long time, the big conversation was all about AI safety, right? Tapping the brakes. Well, that's kind of giving way to an all-out sprint to just build and deploy this stuff as fast as humanly possible. This is that story, the story of how AI changed everything in 2025 and why Time magazine decided to recognize its creators as the Person of the Year.
Think about it. For decades, the idea of thinking machines was pure science fiction. Well, guess what? They're here. And we're going to look at both sides of this coin, the incredible promise, but also the very real peril of this boom. We'll start with one of the key players right at the center of it all.
Okay, so right at the heart of this whole revolution, you've got this guy, Jensen Huang. He's the CEO of NVIDIA. And it's wild because not that long ago, his company was, this kind of niche chip maker for video games, not exactly a household name.
Fast forward to today, and NVIDIA is the most valuable company on the entire planet. And how'd they do it? Their meteoric rise is all thanks to a near monopoly on the super advanced chips, those graphics processors, that are the engine for the entire AI boom.
So when Huang says this is the single most impactful technology of our time, he is not exaggerating. The stakes are massive. And to really get your head around just how massive, let's look at the sheer scale of this transformation. Honestly, the financial numbers we're talking about with this boom are just staggering. They're hard to even wrap your mind around. One investor put it perfectly, calling it a black hole that's pulling all capital towards it. What a powerful way to describe just an almost unimaginable amount of money, right?
Get this. In 2025, NVIDIA became the world's very first $5 trillion company. That's a T. But believe it or not, that incredible number, it's just one piece of a much, much larger investment frenzy. And this chart, wow, this really puts that frenzy into perspective. Just look at it. The capital spending on AI in 2025 alone, it completely dwarfed the peak annual spending on the Apollo project, the Manhattan Project, and the entire interstate highway system combined. We're talking about historical, nation-building level projects, and AI spending just blew them out of the water in a single year. So, when you have a technological gold rush of this magnitude, what happens next? Well, it's pretty predictable. It ignites a fierce competition between the world's two biggest superpowers. What's fascinating is that the US and China are taking completely different paths to try and win this AI race. On one side, you have the US, which is basically betting everything on the private sector. They're unleashing companies with huge contracts and just ripping up regulations. China, though, totally different playbook. They're going with a state-led approach, pushing hard for self-sufficiency and aiming to drive AI into like 90% of their entire economy by 2030. Two very different strategies.
And you can see that state-led approach in action. It's boosting startups like Agibot. What they're doing is leveraging China's incredible manufacturing power to get humanoid robots to work, with the huge goal of deploying AI across factories all over the world. Okay, so we've talked about the trillions of dollars and the big geopolitical chess match, but let's bring this down to a more personal level. How is all of this actually affecting individual people, day to day?
And the answer is, it's complicated. For some, it's an absolutely profound new tool. Take 15-year-old artist Ash Jackson, who's using AI as a creative partner to build these incredible fantasy worlds. Then you've got someone like 66-year-old Jim Moore. He's pretty isolated out in rural Indiana, and for him, AI chatbots have become a source of companionship, a real way to fight off loneliness.
But there is also a truly devastating flip side to this story. In April, a 16-year-old named Adam Rain died by suicide. His parents have since filed a lawsuit against OpenAI, and their claim is horrifying. They allege that ChatGPT didn't just fail to help, but that it actually reinforced and intensified their son's suicidal thoughts, even going so far as to advise him on methods. Adam's tragic story, along with other lawsuits, has really shined a light on this incredibly disturbing phenomenon that experts are calling chatbot psychosis. And this isn't some fringe thing. An internal white paper from OpenAI itself estimated that signs of psychosis or mania could be affecting, get this, 500,000 of their users on a regular basis.
So here we are. You've got these amazing, incredible benefits on one hand, and these absolutely terrifying risks on the other, all happening at the same time. It leads to the biggest question of all, right? Where on earth is this all headed? Well, one thing we know for sure is the scale of adoption is just off the charts. Over 800 million people are now using ChatGPT every single week. Let that sink in. That's 10% of the entire world's population. And they're using it for everything you can imagine, from practical advice and help with homework to writing poems and stories.
And yet, while all this is happening, while the industry is spending hundreds of billions on these massive data centers, some economists are looking at all this and getting really nervous. They see all the classic signs of a massive financial bubble. You've got the overhyped tech, you've got loose credit, you've got this euphoric government messaging. It's a recipe that has a lot of smart people worried that a big crash could be just around the corner.
And that really gets to the crucial point, doesn't it? Humanity has just built the most powerful engine in history. We are flying down the highway all gas and no brakes, accelerating faster than ever before. But here's the scary part. Nobody seems to be holding the map. We're not even sure where we're trying to go.
That was today's Bite from Musa Bytes.